Hello. There it is. There it is. There it is. All right, let's try that again. Sorry about that, folks. Okay. Anyway, let's start that over. I'm ZeroCounts. I will be running Haunting starring Polterguy for you. This is a Genesis game released by Electronic Arts. It is a comedy horror game where you are playing as a ghost who is trying to scare a family out of their home. The reason for this is that you are the family's business made a faulty skateboard that resulted in the death of the poltergeist ghost character, and so now you are making it your mission to scare them out of their homes. So anyway, we are going to be going around the home, trying to possess different parts of the, or different like furniture and things around the house, and trying to scare them out of their houses. We are doing house percent, and which means that we have to completely scare the family out of all 4 homes. There is a final boss at the end, but it is incredibly RNG heavy, very not marathon safe. If we get really far under estimate, maybe we'll try to go for it. But anyway, let's try to get house percent. Let's do that, okay? Alright, anyway, we will get started, and let's get back to the main menu here. And get started in 3, 2, 1, and go. Alright, so the first stage here is pretty well scripted. We want to quickly run to the garage so we can scare Vito. Vito is the father. We have to wait for him to come in here, and then we're going to sick these rats after him. I want him to jump 4 times. 2, 3, 4, and then we want to dart out of the room. Now what that does is it sets his scare level to enough where he's going to run out of the room. And then we're going to duck in here, and he's still at like a high scare level. So we want to scare him one more time by possessing this painting, and then he'll get to very high, and then he'll leave the room. He'll actually leave the house because there's an exit in this room. Alright, so he ducked down to run away, so that means that he is exiting the house. I'll kind of explain the way the house exits work after I possess these 4 things here. We're going after Tony next. Tony is the son in the family. He's in his bedroom here. We're going to possess his poster and his closet and his guitar and his bed. So there are pretty much three things that you need to ensure to get a family member to leave the house. They have to have moved between at least 3 rooms. They have to have a high level of fear, and they have to be in a room that has an exit to the outside in it. After you scare family members, if you stay in the house, they will have these, they'll drop ectoplasm that you can pick up, and then that's kind of like your health. If you run out of ectoplasm, you actually have to go back to, or you have to go to a dungeon, and in that dungeon, You have to collect a bunch of ectoplasm and dodge a bunch of enemies, and the dungeons is the place where you can actually get a game over in the game. If you lose all your health in the dungeons, then you get a game over and have to start all over. So we don't want that to happen. All right, so Tony just left. We're gonna run to his sister Mimi's room and possess this stereo, and then we're gonna use our first special power. We're gonna use the Voodoo ability, which allows us to throw these little bombs at the family members. And what that does is it puts her to a maximum scare level. Actually, it didn't work. So we're going to have to do one more scare here. Hopefully it works before we get sent to the dungeon. But she's right on top of there. Oh, we might go to the dungeon. Oh, no. Alright, let's see if she gets out of here. No, we're going to the dungeon. Okay. That's alright. Well, we got this. We'll get back in there. Don't worry. So here we go. This is what happens when you lose all your ectoplasm. You go down to the dungeons, and you have to pick up these like green blobs, which is little bits of ectoplasm, and dodge all these like arms coming out of the wall and bats that fly at you. There's these red drops that'll drop from the ceiling, and what those are is are the spells that you get, the special abilities. Each one of them has a different letter. You pick it up. If it's a B, you get the Voodoo ability. If it's an E, you get Ecto Extra, which heals your Ecto. Okay, so now it'll put us back into that same room that we lost in. And she should have ran into the bathroom. Yep, here she is. Okay. So she's at a high fear level right now, so we can get her up to a very high. See, there's her fear levels high, so that should get her to very high, which should have her run out the left here. Okay, there she goes. If we do that properly, she should just leave the door. Okay, so the door to the outside opened up, which meant that she was going to run out the door, so we can exit and then head to the next family member. Flo is the next one. She's the mom of the family. She is in a completely different spot than what she normally is because of what happened, which is fine. We'll figure this out. We're going to have her duck into that room. I've never actually tried this before, but we're going to try something new here. We're trying some new strats. So you have this ability called Super Scare, okay? Super Scare, what it does, you can leave the room, and then you go pull up the map, and then if you press ABC, it blows up the Super Scare, and automatically puts the family member to a top scare level. All right, good. So she left the room. Now let's see if she leaves out this door. Yes, she did. Okay. Now she should leave the house now, because she's still at that very high level. The door should open, and if it doesn't look like it's going to, because she had to travel too far that her fear level ended up decreasing a little bit. Alright, there it goes. Alright, now that she is out the house, it gives us a win, and we can go to the next house. But first we have to do a dungeon, because you have to do a dungeon in between every home. Alright. One of the best things about this run, and why I enjoy it so much, is because, is exactly because of, like, what can happen just on the fly. Just random things can occur where, there is a way, like... There is a way to manipulate the RNG to make it so that the family members go to the rooms you want them to, get scared by the things you want them to, but the RNG is so finicky and the timing is so precise that, like, especially in a marathon setting, it's just gonna, like, you never know what's gonna happen, and so you gotta kind of like understand the mechanics of the game and know exactly what the best option is and how to use what's at your disposal in the different rooms of the house. Alright, now we're going to house 2. House 2, we have to get some timing here on this chair. Let's see if I can get this. We want to push Mimi out of this room. Alright, perfect. So she ducked into the room behind her. We go through this door. What that does is it makes Mimi leave this hallway, which allows Vito to come in. If we took too long scaring Mimi into the hallway, Vito would not come into this room, and then we would everything would get kind of screwed up, and you have to kind of go on the fly. You may have noticed that a dog just came through the hallway, so that's new to House 2. In House 2, they get a dog. The dog will, if the dog is in the room, it will decrease the fear level of the family member that shares that room. And it'll also decrease your ectoplasm levels. So you really don't want the dog to be where you are. Well, Vito should come in here. Now the dog will also, if there's no family member in the room that the dog is in, it'll summon these ghosts. And Vito didn't come in here for whatever reason. Vito's like totally back in the hallway. Marathon runs, people. This is why we come and watch these. You never know what's gonna happen. All right, so we got to get Vito out of here. So if you look at the map, here, you'll notice that Vito is next to Mimi and Tony. Vito's preventing Mimi and Tony from moving out of this, out of their respective rooms, because no two family members can be in the same room at the same time. So I think he's gonna go in here. Yep, okay. And I think he'll go in this hallway. Alright, perfect. Okay, that dog's gonna decrease our ecto level, so we gotta use this ecto extra to heal our ecto. Okay, that door opens, so Vito is leaving. So now we're back in back in our scripted scares. So we're gonna go after Mimi next. Mimi is in the bathroom here. We're going to set a super scare in the bathroom. Wait for the menu to pop up. And then we're going to go after Tony. So Tony, we want to push out of this room by using a green scare. The green scares allow us to like fly things around the room. So he's in that position. Hopefully we can get him to back up into that door. Okay, perfect. All right, then we want to go to the map and set off our super scare for Mimi. And what that's going to do is going to scare her, put her up to the maximum scare level. I'm just going to leave out there. There's our favorite dog. It's following us around. All right, we're going to use the bed to scare Mimi one more time to back out into the bathroom. We have to do that because the dog decreased her scare level by 1. All right, good. So she doesn't go out into the hallway because Tony's in the hallway. Should still be at very high. And then she should come out here. And then she leaves the house. All right, so Tony is in this hallway, presumably. Now, Tony got pushed out of the room that he was in. So he's kind of in this like weird like walking animation where he's just kind of doing whatever he wants to do. When he does that, you got to do a yellow scare. Yellow scares allow you to just kind of scare a family member at the immediate time when you jump into the yellow scare. Blue scares, like these pictures, have the family members walk up to the thing and then get scared and run away. So if they're kind of in that weird walking animation, yellow scares you can execute immediately, and then that allows the family members to kind of get out of that weird walking trance state. All right, the only one who's left is Flo. Flo should be, well, we took too long, so Flo is in the hallway, actually. Probably going to try to get her, we'll see. I honestly don't know what we'll do here. And then there's the dog. Okay, so Flo's going out this way for some reason. All right. Don't typically find yourself in this room. I think what I'll probably do is I'm going to use the Voodoo that I still have. And what that'll do is it'll get her to maximum scare, but it'll also give me a whole bunch of ecto because her scare level goes so high that she'll drop a bunch of ecto for us. She's in this room. There's no exit in this area. I don't really know how we're gonna do this, but we're gonna make it happen. That put her at very high, so she's like super far away from a place that has an exit. Okay, good. She's going to an exit area. So she goes through this door next. Okay, I don't know where she's going. We have to watch our ecto level right now because it's dangerously low. So we're at risk of going back into the dungeon. Come on. That should put her at very high. And now she's in a room with an exit. This should be enough to push her out the door. Yes, okay. Alright, that was very close. Alright, we're going to house 3. So, next dungeon. Good thing about these dungeons, like I said before, is that they allow you to refill your spells. Ideally, you'll get drops for every spell that you used in the last area. Although during practice recently, I did go into a dungeon and not get one of the spells. I didn't have like my Ecto Extra spell that I normally get when you go through the dungeons, which I didn't know could actually happen. So that might happen during this run. Who knows? We'll find out. If we don't have the Ecto Extra, it's kind of scary because then you can't refill your Ecto in the house. You also have to watch our health here in the dungeon. That's that little TV like image in the bottom left. If our picture goes all the way away, then we have to we get a game over. And there's no continues or anything like that, so we gotta be careful. Okay, that's dungeon 3. So house 3 is next. House 3, we're going to quick run to the right, and we're gonna drop a super scare in here. Although, oh yeah, Flo is in here. Okay, good. I didn't see Flo, so I was a little scared she didn't make it in that room for some reason. Alright, use the super scare on Flo, and then we're going to scare Vito out of here. So, remember how I said we have to, the family members need to be, have to have exited 3 rooms to get a scare? So what we want Vito to do is we want to push him into this room, have him come back into this room again, and then push him back out again. So now he's hit his 3 room requirement. Now we don't want him to walk back out again, so we quick do a yellow scare to make sure he's not in that weird automatic walking phase, and he's not going to care. He's just going to go back out. Let's see if we can push him back out again. Okay. Dude, Vito's just doing whatever he wants, you know? Alright, so we scare him, get a blue scare so he walks towards the blue scare. There we go. Now we're in the right cycle. Now we just need to scare him enough to get him to exit through that door on the top left up there. Sometimes the menuing and like the little status in the bottom right doesn't update fast enough or accurately enough. So because every animation kind of takes a little while to execute. So you can actually listen to the heartbeats of the characters, which is actually kind of more accurate to their scare levels. All right, use this. Then we're going to use Voodoo. This will put Mimi at a full scare level, so she'll leave the room. Okay, so you can tell that, so it says that her fear level is very high, but you can hear by her heartbeat that it wasn't actually beating as fast as it normally does, or as a very high level does. So she was actually at a high level there. So it's kind of what I was talking about with the menuing just isn't always accurate. She's at a very high level. She should leave. But she's kind of frozen. That was really weird. She's just sort of frozen in place. Okay, there she goes. Let's do Tony next here, okay? Tony, we're going to try to push out of this room. Flip the lights off. We're going to use this. Get him to move over this way. Because we want to use this... we want to use this fan to kind of push him out to the left. If he does that, there he goes. I'll pick up the ecto because we're getting a little low. And then he's in this room. This has an exit in it, and he has moved around. So the family members will move around the house, even if you're not like watching them move around. So like Flo, we put up to a high scare level. So you'd think that we would have to still move her around different rooms, but she's walking around the house right now. And those like different house movements like count towards their total house movement numbers. So Flo should be ready to leave as long as she is in a room with an exit, which she is not. So we'll have to kind of push her in that direction. So her scare level is not very high right now. It's actually very calm. But we're going to try to get her scare level high enough that she moves out this this large door here. That should put her up to a very high level. Oh, she's got nerves of steel. She's only at high. Alright, so hopefully she exits out this door. And then the doors down there should open. Nope, she's leaving out the same door she came in for some reason. We're going to use the Ecto Extra just in case here. Yeah, she went out a completely different room. Alright, she's up, and she's in the middle of the house. She's not near an exit at all. She's at a high fear level. Okay, she's running out somewhere. She's running this way. There is an exit here. So because she ran around so much, her fear level is now dropped. So we need to scare her at least one more time to get her out of here. Hopefully the dog doesn't come in the room. We should be okay. There we go. Okay, so that's house 3 done. Alright, we have one more house to complete our house percent run. So we have to do the dungeon first. Being very careful not to get hit too many times because we are a little bit low on health. Jump over these bats. The ectoplasm little blobs don't always, like, you can't pick them up until they've, like, completely dropped onto the ground. So you kind of have, it's better to sort of wait for the full blob to form and then jump in there, especially when they're, like, landing right in front of these, like, fists from the walls. Especially if you're trying not to take any damage. Like we are right now. Okay, that's the dungeon completed. So this is house 4. So we're going to push Mimi around. She comes into this room. We're going to push her right back out the door, because we want to fulfill that 3-room rule. And then we're going to get her scare level up while she's in here. So we're going to wait for her to get scared by one of these blue scares, and then we're going to jump into this wall. Okay, we'll do this. Now while she's moving to the next blue scare, we're going to set this one up, but we're also going to use the ability Dog Off, which we haven't used yet. Dog Off sets a thing of dog food on the ground, and it distracts the dog if the dog comes in the room. The dog in this house will walk through that room at some point, and we don't want the dog to come to where Vito is, because we're trying to set up something where Vito is going to exit the house for us after a certain sequence. So we set that dog food in that room. So we want to keep Vito's scare level high, so he moves around rooms like this and follows us around. Alright, well, the dog decided to do something completely different, because this is a marathon, and that's what they do. So we gotta get this ghost out of here, and hopefully Vito comes in. Alright. This might still work. Nope, I don't know where Vito is. Vito's out in the hallway. Okay, go back after Vito. He's still at a very high scare level, so like he's like still running around. Alright, he might be going to the right room. Okay, he's over there. Can make this work. You can tell by his heartbeat is at a high level, so we want to get him to very high, so we're going to set off one more scare. Hopefully he leaves out this door. He should. Oh, the dog's in here, but that's okay because it's got the dog food. Just as I planned it. All right, our ecto level is like super low, so we're gonna use this ecto extra. I don't know what Flo's doing, but this is not normally what happens. But I'm going to use a super scare here, and we'll set this off as we go after Tony. So Tony is in the bathroom. Up here. We're gonna use the voodoo on Tony to kind of get him pushed out of the house here. But while we're doing that, we're also going to set off the super scare on Flo, who moved rooms, so that actually didn't end up working. That's alright. Let's see if Tony cooperates. Alright. Got scared by the blue scare, and then 5 shots from the voodoo should put him at maximum fear. We'll grab some of the ecto that he leaves in here. He should still be at a high level of scare. So we'll do one more yellow scare on him and see if he exits out the left. He's at a very high sphere level. Okay, there he goes. And if we moved in here fast enough, he should just leave. But you can tell based on the heartbeat that he did not stay at a very high level. So we'll scare him a bunch and get him out of here. Alright, our favorite family member is still left, and that's Flo. We have a pretty high ecto level, so we should be able to make this happen. Time is going to be when we actually like scare Flo out of the house, when the game gives us the indication that she has left. Flo is in this room. So we have to basically just kind of old-fashioned scare her out of this house, because she somehow evaded our super scare tactics. Good thing is she's fairly close to a bunch of she's super close to a bunch of exits to the home, so it really doesn't make a huge difference where she exits. And there's our favorite dog. Okay. Dog's going left, we're going right. Love that. I love that for us. Hopefully she exits to the right up here. Oh, yeah, we might have to go back to the dungeon one more time. She's not cooperating whatsoever. The dog did a real number on her because now she's at a low fear level. Okay, back to the dungeon. Good thing is we get a health pickup there. You are awarded a health pickup if you hit 25,000 points. Normally you get the health pickup on your after the house 4 or after the house 4 dungeon, because right around that time is when you would get like that 25,000 points. So we're setting ourselves up okay here. In terms of like 100% category, if you're trying to go for like the final boss fight, this is actually a really good setup for it. Having to be at the dungeon right before you leave the house, or right before you finish the house 4 scares, because you're going to be at maximum ecto level when you get into the boss fight. I believe the nearest exit is probably up to the left, so she'll probably go like upright or something. And see where we want her to go. She's pretty much in the middle of the house, so there's not very many good options here. We just got to keep her moving. Hopefully over here. This will work. There is an exit to the left of this room. So she's at a high level. We scare her one more time. That puts her up to very high. And hopefully she exits over here into the game room, which there is an exit. All right, good, perfect. Okay, so she's leaving. And that is our last scare. So, yeah, that's house percent. If I can really just quickly show off here. Once you scared the last family member, if you look at the map, there is a scary face on the map here. If you go to that scary face, it then takes you to the final boss, which ends up being the dog the whole time. But I mean, you didn't have to tell me that the dog was ruining everything the entire run. So, and then you have to end up fighting this dog, which most of the time is really difficult because you don't really have control over like where you're throwing these balls. So it can be really, really tricky. It's not very marathon safe, so we don't do it for this. So I'm gonna stop it there because that was our finished house percent. But thank you everybody for watching, and I hope you enjoy the rest of Retrothon. Before I leave, let me give a couple shout outs here. The reason why I ran this game is because of I'm in a speedrun group called Board Boosters. I picked this game out in October for our Board Boosters Club. If you want to learn more about Board Boosters, go to www.boardboosters.com. We're a speedrun club that picks a underrepresented game with very few runs on the speedrun.com board. So if you're interested in joining, definitely come and show us some runs that we should pay closer attention to. We pick a new run every other month, and then we kind of learn it and run it as a community. So so definitely check us out, www.boardboosters.com. All right. Thank you, everybody.